Alright everybody, what's happening? This is WrestleAmia coming at you live once again from deep inside Kane's living room, straight from the fiery depths of hell itself. And man, it is absolutely brutally hot down here today. Stick around because we're diving straight into the craziest headlines and hottest rumors rocking the entire wrestling world right now. And trust me, today's lineup is seriously loaded. We've got a disaster brewing that could genuinely wreck WWE's reputation. SummerSlam might be turning into a total flop. WWE is reportedly putting all their chips on CM Punk. We're sending our thoughts to Jim Ross after some troubling news. Is a Shield reunion secretly being teased? Why did WWE completely snub a major AEW star? Sheamus has officially said his goodbyes to WWE. Plans for Survivor Series just got scrapped. And there's a shocking twist about someone inside WWE who fought tooth and nail for Sheamus. That's just the beginning, folks, so don't go anywhere. Make sure you smash that subscribe button and hit the bell so you never miss our daily wrestling drops. First up, and honestly, this one's downright ugly. SummerSlam could be heading straight toward disaster. All eyes right now are locked on this year's show, and early warning signs strongly suggest we might be witnessing one of the single biggest box office failures in WWE history. Per the trusted outlet WrestleTix, only around 22,690 tickets have gone out for night one, even though the venue can pack in nearly 29,535 fans. Sure, 22,000 tickets might sound impressive at first glance, but remember, this is a massive stadium capable of holding roughly 70,000 people on a big night. Compare that to last year, when night one drew a staggering 53,000 fans. That's a jaw-dropping 30,000 fan collapse, and it should be sounding alarm bells inside WWE headquarters. It really feels like the fan base is finally speaking up, not with words, but by simply staying home. Night two, somehow even worse, with roughly 23,000 tickets moved so far, compared to over 60,000 sold at this point last year. Naturally, fans everywhere are bracing themselves, wondering out loud if WWE will pull the exact same stunt they tried during the infamous WrestleMania ticket scare. Remember that bizarre, over-the-top storyline involving Pat McAfee? Don't be even remotely shocked if history repeats itself here. We also wouldn't rule out some kind of last-minute surprise celebrity swoop-in, purely to boost struggling sales even further. Who knows, maybe Jelly Roll shows up as the special guest enforcer for Oberfemi versus Brock Lesnar, inside Hell in a Cell. Hey, desperate times call for desperate ticket-selling measures, right? Nothing screams must-see event. Quite like a random surprise musician suddenly refereeing a violent steel cage brawl. Moving on, WWE appears to be going all in on CM Punk. With the title now around his waist, Punk looks set to become the new face of Smackdown. And we're finally getting the inside scoop on how this whole move came together. According to WrestleVotes, the current plan has Punk anchoring Smackdown full-time, while still popping up on Raw occasionally when storylines call for it.
Sources speaking directly to WrestleVotes via Fightful Select confirm this exact arrangement.
And word is that NBC Universal itself was quietly pushing hard behind the scenes to get Punk onto SmackDown, firmly believing he's exactly the spark the brand desperately needs now. Insiders say the network has quietly been lobbying hard for this move for well over a full year now, viewing Punk as easily one of the company's true crown jewels. One insider even boldly suggested his presence alone could completely reverse SmackDown's recent slump in momentum. Meanwhile, someone within WWE Creative is quietly hinting that this particular title reign is genuinely built to last. A sharp and telling contrast to the controversy surrounding Sami Zayn's shockingly brief 9-day reign, which AJ Styles publicly weighed in on, suggesting there might still be a much bigger story quietly unfolding here behind the scenes.
I don't understand, and it's not for me to understand. I get it. I didn't write the show. I don't know what's happening, but I'm hoping there's an actual reason. And from what I've saw on the internet, you know, they backstage with Sammy after the match.
Yeah,
he's pretty pissed off.
Mm-hmm.
Let's see where this story goes before we start getting, mad about everything that's going on. By the way, CM Punk looks like $1 million right now.
Oh, yeah.
But there is a story that's happening. So before we get, our panties in a wad and just, be as negative as we can, let's see what happens. Because this may be a transition in where Sammy is a totally different character. And that might be what we need. There's things that can happen. So let's see where it goes is all I'm saying. Before we start judging and being mad, even though I didn't want a transitional champion, let's see where it goes.
There's absolutely no denying that SmackDown desperately needs some serious work put into it right now. And hopefully WWE actually has a clear, well thought out creative plan locked in to turn SmackDown back into a genuine must-watch show once again. Next up, did CM Punk secretly push for this match himself? Finn Balor sat down with Chris Van Fleet this week for an interview, and one of the juiciest topics he touched on was his 2026 feud against CM Punk. According to Balor, Punk simply wasn't a name he had ever really crossed paths with much before. But he had definitely heard some wild horror stories floating around from other wrestlers. Punk, he openly admitted, was someone he barely interacted with at all, having only ever met him once briefly at Samoa Joe's wedding. He'll go on record saying he'd heard nothing but horror stories, that Punk was supposedly difficult, big-headed, and someone nobody wanted to work with. Yet when Punk finally returned to WWE, Balor found the complete opposite to be true, describing him instead as humble, polite, and genuinely eager to collaborate. In a genuinely huge eyebrow-raising revelation, Balor claimed he strongly believes Punk personally went straight to WWE management himself to get that world title match in Ireland officially approved. He's fairly convinced it wasn't the office's idea at all. It came directly from Punk himself. That match, Balor explained, could have easily taken place in literally any random American city on the map. But instead, it landed right in Belfast, his own actual hometown. It even happened to fall the day after his mom's birthday, meaning she was right there in the crowd. The reaction that night, he says, was absolutely unbelievable. And now that both stars share the same blue brand, WWE could easily bring that dream match back if they wanted to. Next, is WWE secretly teasing a Shield reunion? Yesterday, WWE quietly re-released the official 2013 Shield t-shirt, instantly sending fans into a frenzy of wild theories ahead of SummerSlam. It marks the first piece of Dean Ambrose merchandise released in years, sparking rumors he could somehow return, maybe even at SummerSlam itself. Unfortunately, though, Ambrose remains firmly locked under an existing AEW contract, so any kind of SummerSlam appearance is entirely off the table for now. Still, it's genuinely great seeing WWE proudly honor one of the greatest factions of all time, clearly proving they haven't erased Dean Ambrose from history. Finally, prayers are pouring in for JR. Jim Ross revealed on his podcast this week that he's currently battling memory loss and will very soon be undergoing brain surgery. He explained on the show,
I feel pretty good. I think I'm getting better every day, but still got a ways to go. I can't drive yet, all that stuff. I'm cutting back on my appearances. I got one big one coming up in Minneapolis in a few weeks. So I'm just battling. I'm getting ready to have another surgery, brain surgery this time. And that's going to be an adventure, because I don't think they're going to find much.
Oh, God.
In my brain, so...
Ross went into what the procedure entails.
This procedure that I'm getting ready to have done, I think it's called a shunt. Is that right? Shunt?
Okay, yeah.
It'll go from my brain. I don't know where else it's going to go, but it's going someplace to get that fluid off my brain that's making me not remember stuff.
Okay. I got you.
So it's fairly serious. I always thought that anytime they open your skull up and that it's a serious piece of business, and it certainly feels that way. So I'll get it done, and a short hospital stay, and limp back home and heal up. So that's my options. That's what I'm going to do. I'm going to heal up.
we want to send our warmest, most heartfelt, and sincere wishes to Jim Ross. Our thoughts and prayers are truly with you during this difficult time. Next up, Sheamus officially says goodbye to WWE. It now seems completely official. Sheamus has genuinely left the company. After quietly being shifted over into the alumni section on WWE.com, Sheamus took straight to X with an emotional farewell message. Banger after banger after banger over and over again, followed by Slam Mode WWE Chad Day, which apparently, roughly translated, means goodbye to my WWE friends. There are already rumors swirling around that Sheamus could eventually land somewhere in AEW, though the initial reaction from inside the AEW locker room hasn't exactly been warm, with some feeling his particular in-ring style simply doesn't mesh well with the promotion. Regardless of where he lands next, we're wishing him nothing but the best moving forward. Next, some fresh WWE plans have just surfaced. The next Saturday night's main event special is only 8 days away. Yet as things currently stand, only 2 matches have actually been confirmed for the entire show. According to WrestleVotes, the event could possibly feature several NBA stars, with multiple players reportedly expected to show up. Fightful Select learned that WWE has extended invitations to a handful of players from the 2026 NBA champion New York Knicks, inviting them to attend Saturday night's main event at Madison Square Garden on July 18th. Sources within WWE indicate multiple players are genuinely expected to be there in person. As for their actual role, it sounds like they'll likely be tied into a segment involving Danhausen. WrestleVotes was also told that WWE had previously explored bringing in NBA Finals MVP Jalen Brunson for a similar segment, with several creative pitches built specifically around Danhausen. While these celebrity appearances certainly make plenty of sense on paper, WWE still desperately needs to add several more matches to the card, because a bare 2-match show is honestly pretty underwhelming for an event of this size. We also now know that reigning WWE champion CM Punk will be appearing on the card in some form. Punk's official summer dates dropped just yesterday, and next weekend's show is confirmed among them. Since Punk currently only has 2 more Smackdown appearances left before then, to properly set something up, it's genuinely unclear exactly what WWE actually has planned here. Next, Survivor Series plans have reportedly been scrapped. Last year, it was widely rumored that WWE was seriously considering taking the entire Survivor Series event on the road internationally for 2026. However, it appears those ambitious plans have completely changed. According to WrestleVotes, that international idea has since fallen apart entirely. Sources speaking to WrestleVotes via Fightful Select confirmed that back in late 2025, WWE genuinely explored hosting the 2026 Survivor Series PLE overseas, but those talks quietly collapsed over the following months. The report further noted this is exactly why no location has been announced yet, and confirmed that Boston will definitely not be hosting the event. One insider believes this is the main reason behind the ongoing silence surrounding a date or venue for 2026 Survivor Series. WrestleVotes added that Boston, Massachusetts actually made a serious push to host the 2026 event, but much like the failed negotiations surrounding John Cena's retirement match, talks with Boston ultimately broke down purely over financial terms. It also still remains completely and entirely unclear whether or not War Games will actually be making a return this year. There's genuinely been a growing push coming from fans online wanting to see WWE finally move away from this exact format entirely. Yet, it's still an absolutely massive moneymaker for the company, so it's entirely possible they'll want to keep it running regardless. Next, a Vision member finally breaks her silence. Vision member Maxine Dupri has now opened up about exactly why she decided to join the faction in the first place. Dupri's involvement had already been teased for months, and during an interview with Complex, Dupri revealed she simply wanted to be surrounded by the best of the best. Have you even seen Austin Theory? She feels the answer is pretty obvious. She wants to be around the best of the best, explaining that you're basically the average of the 5 people you surround yourself with. So she's choosing to surround herself with greatness. Dupri also admitted she felt genuinely betrayed once Otis and Tozawa decided to head back toward Chad Gable, which likely explains why her time in Alpha Academy has now come to an end. Next, someone inside WWE apparently risked everything for Sheamus. Fresh details are now emerging about the real story behind Sheamus's exit from the company. Sheamus was officially released last weekend, and according to WrestleVotes, an unnamed high-ranking WWE executive actually went to bat for him behind closed doors. Fightful Select first reported earlier this week that Sheamus was departing because his contract was expiring, and he ultimately rejected a restructured extension offer. WrestleVotes learned that this unnamed executive went straight to TKO and fought hard on Sheamus's behalf. There's plenty of ongoing speculation swirling around exactly who this mystery figure could actually be, since Sheamus had reportedly built plenty of close relationships behind the scenes over his many years with the company. It was also reported that this individual emphasized just how much value Sheamus brings to the company, value that extends well beyond his in-ring performances. As for a potential AEW run, someone close to Sheamus reportedly believes he'd genuinely welcome the opportunity, even short-term, if the right situation ever came along. And finally, it turns out WWE simply wasn't interested in this particular AEW star. Our last story dives into the current AEW status of Jack Perry, finally answering whether WWE ever seriously tried signing him. AEW's re-signing of Perry was confirmed earlier this week, and now WrestleVotes reports that WWE actually showed very little genuine interest in bringing him aboard. Sources speaking via Fightful Select revealed there were barely any serious internal discussions about actually pursuing Perry, even if he'd hit the open market as a free agent. Apparently, there was simply never much genuine appetite to bring him into the fold, with many insiders feeling he just didn't fit WWE's current creative direction and was never truly viewed as a realistic signing target. As most fans already know, Perry was once involved in a heated real-life confrontation with WWE champion CM Punk years back, so his arrival would have certainly made things interesting, to say the least. But there you have it, folks. That's absolutely every wild story and rumor you truly needed to know today. Drop your honest thoughts down in the comments below, and we'll catch you again next time with even more wrestling content.